What was that?
It's perfect. You want to be that guy?
Good morning, DCTV fam. It is November 11th, 2022. Happy Veterans Day to those of you out there who are watching.
No doubt.
It is another crazy day. It's been an insane week.
Amazing week,
an
guys.
insane
I
week.
mean, yes.
Let me stop you.
Yes.
We'll get through the pleasantries here, but guys, welcome to DCTV. My name is Brad. That's Jaime. We got Tam. We got at the real data lord Brandon hanging in here with us this morning, and it is another green day. Looking at futures in the traditional markets, the exchanges here, S&P 500 is up another 0.5% after being up nearly 5% yesterday, which is wild. The Dow's up another 0.5% as well. The NASDAQ was up over 7% yesterday. That's only happened 15 times in the last 30 years. That's up again another 0.5% right now. Oil is approaching $90 a barrel yet again, and then Bitcoin is red.
We have big
red
much. One then on the 5-minute right now.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how volatile it's been over the last 24 hours because we were live on Wednesday, obviously, and it went crazy and had a huge bounce, and now it's been all over the place over the last actually probably more like 12 hours. It's been more volatile than anything. But yeah, Jaime, I wanted to actually bring you in on this one and show everybody what exactly we're looking at with Bitcoin right now and what to expect. Which one you want first?
The monthly.
There we go.
There you go. All right, guys. So, and by the way, I see quite a few asking where Don is. His little one got ill, so he let us know he won't be making it, but he loves you guys and gals. And
he's taking care of his little boo.
Yeah, so we miss you, Don. Catch us on the live. So here's what we're looking at overall. If you look at the Bitcoin overall chart, where we're at, we are on schedule. This is the Bitcoin halving chart. You can find it in TradingView, and this plots the entire history of Bitcoin. And we've been showing this chart since last year as a group, but publicly, since around April. But if you look at the chart itself, we have been in a bear market since around August of 21 in terms of time frame. But we got the double top at around November, which was that last high that we saw. And we're still in that time frame. And look, it's working like clockwork. Bitcoin keeps on this median. So there's still room to go further down on the price action. But now let's zoom in on what's going on at this moment. So I'm flipping over to the monthly. And on the monthly, by the way, this support level you see right here has been on this chart for a long time, since the beginning of this year, and we're actually holding it as support at this moment. But it's a weekly type of support, which is weaker than a monthly. The true monthly support stands at the last bull run's top on the monthly open, monthly close. We'll go deeper into that down the road. Not today, but if you want to learn about it, Don Fran has amazing training on this. So catch him at the Don Fran show. And we have the 89 moving average coming to that same level of support, which stands currently at 13,800 today. So that is a possible point for the next level of support if this one breaks to go down. On the weekly, yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, just for some people who are trying to learn charting, because I know we have a lot of new people coming into this space, just paying attention to the news and whatnot. So a double top means it tried to go up. It hit a certain level where people said, I don't think it's actually worth that, and they sold it. And then it tries that level again just to make sure it wasn't like a situational fluke, and it gets rejected again, meaning that then becomes difficult. It requires a lot of selling pressure or buying pressure to actually break through that ceiling now. It creates a resistance line is what they call it. So
exactly,
we have a resistance line at that double top there.
So on the next bull run, everybody's going to be watching the $65,000 to $69,000 level, and you will see Don Fran with his zone painted there in the future, because that's where he knows the liquidity or everyone that's upside down at the moment are stuck there. And there's a lot of psychology, everything that goes with that pancake. So at this moment, you can see Bitcoin when we zoom in now on the weekly chart, it's trying to recover that lost support. We could have had a double bottom. If this comes back up by 2 days, Sunday, this could be seen as a double bottom if it holds all the way through, because you hit it down here and now you hit it up here. Remember that double top that Brandon spoke of earlier? Well, here's a potential double bottom. But the way we trade is look for confirmation. Yep. Don't just go diving in because it looks like something, because it may quack like a dog instead of a duck. So that's where we're at on the trading. And of course, this one's way zoomed in, but here's the buy. Oh, let me flip over. There you go. This is the area where I have a few of the buys waiting. And there's a standing bet between Tamp and Don Fran within this range, which as soon as we start approaching there, we're going to start establishing what the payouts will be and what the bet really is. So we're looking.
He can't defend himself. He's not on stream right now.
Right. That's why. Let's let price action get there first, if it gets there. But
I'll defend Don for him. This is what he would say. I'm right. Tamp's wrong. She'll see soon enough. There you go.
Tamp, you said that on our Wednesday stream, you mentioned that there would be people that should be offering to buy out FTX. And we're seeing that action, which all of us were kind of poo-pooing it. And you and Peter were like, no, it's a very plausible thing.
There's interest right now. I don't know if it's $10 billion worth of interest, but there is interest right now.
Absolutely. And it's a tomahawk dinner, right? That's on the line.
I said, if I'm right, if FTX gets bought out, especially by some of the entities that I called out, $100 tomahawk steak, blue to rare, and at least a $100 pour of neat 25-plus-year-old scotch.
Guys, we better start saving.
$100 pour.
Oh yeah, 25-plus-year-old scotch. I'm not saying it's a value. You could buy it cheaper and pour it yourself at home cheaper, of course. But at a restaurant, you're going to be looking at $100+ bucks.
Yeah.
So we're going to start saving our money, Tamp, for you.
Don's in chat. What's up, Don?
There's Don. All right, so that's it for the markets. If there's any questions, just post them and we will gladly answer them. And also, please join us on Discord for any updates, any of these conversations. On Wednesday, we cover on the emergency stream that lasted two and a half hours, almost 2.5 hours. We covered everything, because although it's exciting from someone who's understood and can see this coming, not precisely what happened, but in terms of the price and everything, new people coming in here really have gotten hurt with this FTX situation. Yep. So with Tamp and the team, we really covered, okay, if you're in this situation, what do you do? How do you protect yourself? How do you come out of this in a better way? So please join us on Discord. We posted the link in the chat, and it's also in the description, and we would love to see you in there.
Yeah, I also wanted to, real quick before we pivot, I wanted to talk about the dollar, because I know that Don probably would mention the dollar.
You would.
I can move it out of this chart so you can see it.
I have, this is the dollar right here. So this is DXY, the dollar. You can see how this is moving down. It's actually at its lowest level since August of this year. And that is another reason why some are speculating perhaps that Bitcoin has made a huge bounce. A lot of this had to do with CPI. Now, CPI, of course, has impacted Bitcoin and the dollar because of potential interest rate hikes that are coming down the pipeline. This past Thursday, we saw CPI numbers that were lower than what were expected, but not to the point to where everybody's in the free and clear and aren't worried about inflation or interest rates of the like. So looking at the dollar, you can see this huge move down. I think, and I'm not going to pretend to be Don, but I think that if we look at about 105 on the dollar, that's going to be a potential area for support. I would imagine, I'd have to guess, if there was going to be news that came out, it would be news that the Fed isn't interested in budging on their strategy right now. And they're going to continue to keep the foot on the gas as far as interest rates are concerned, because we're not out of the woods. So that could be an area to watch out for. We see that the dollar bounce, and then Bitcoin, of course, would get pushed further down. So that's just one other thing that I wanted to make mention of. because Don does talk about the dollar and how it correlates to Bitcoin.
And we've seen it actually when he
Yeah.
charted the day it flipped. We saw the actual price action match.
Yeah, if you caught yesterday's video, we put out a video about the dollar and Bitcoin, and they're literal mirror images of each other right now. So on the daily charts. So interesting stuff. All right, so moving on. I do have a WTF news of the day, but it ain't gonna come from me. It's actually coming from Tamp, and I have no idea what it is.
Tamp. And it
Guys.
is. I think a lot of people may have seen this one. I don't know about our DC TV team, but it definitely comes with the disclaimer before I put this up that this is not Mark Zuckerberg. This is not Facebook. That being said, one of the original makers of the Oculus that Facebook then bought has come up with a way to actually kill you dead should you die in a game wearing this headset.
What the fuck?
Exactly. Of the day.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
So,
No!
this guy,
No!
Palmer Luckey invented the Oculus, right? So he basically has loaded these 3 chambers right here with CO2 and a rod, basically. This is how you kill cattle in mass.
Yep.
And should you die a certain way in a game, boom, baby, one of these things goes right into your head, which just sits right here.
Why the fuck?
It serves humanity so well.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a custom headset that he claims will kill a player if they die in a video game. Like literally, it will kill you. And so he said this is far off, but players can be trapped in a giant immersive game. If you die, it is connected to this nerve gear tech, and you have to either figure out a way to win, escape, or apparently die. Let's see, it says the VR headset is laced with charges that will explode, destroying the brain of the user if they trigger an appropriate game over
That's
screen.
Squid Game shit. What is that?
Yes.
Or some Ready Player One or like Matrix shit.
This is advertising, guys. This is a stunt. I mean, who the hell would even?
No, yeah.
I like this. Lucky has not even tried the headset on himself, lest some sort of miscalculation on his part accidentally kills him.
Duh.
Game over screen or not. Jesus, that is insane. No, I did not see that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, Boston says Saw.
So yeah,
that's like
See, yeah, the movie Saw. But that one came out. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I don't think that one's going to be available for purchase in the U.S. legally. I don't think
now we can mix the metaverse with serial killers. Great.
yeah. Or the mob when they grab
Wonderful.
a victim, drag them over there, put this on them, and start talking to them in the VR world. It's like, bitch, you're about to go down if you don't.
See,
speak.
that's what I thought. I thought it was like the ultimate interrogation or like the ultimate torture device right there. Like, who took the money, Lebowski? Where's the money, Lebowski? And they start putting on the VR headset. And he's like, woo,
Dude.
man, woo.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Who
that
stole
is
your relic?
wild.
Not me.
That is wild. So we were supposed to have a guest on today. I'm assuming that he's a no-show. It's our first no-show. Kind of a bummer. But
We got stuff.
We still got plenty of stuff to chat about. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about, Tamp, and I think some of the things we might table for Don for when he comes back. But so the first thing I wanted to talk about was just kind of like a recap of any kind of events that we've seen over the last 24 hours since we've actually put out a video last of the SBF saga, and FTX, and just some crazy rumors that are flying around and I want to make sure that before we talk about those said things that there isn't confirmation on those
rumors,
but there is things that we can confirm. And so I want to kind of make sure that we're delineating those. But the first one is this news with BlockFi, and FTX was set to buy them out. Obviously, that's not happening anymore. So now BlockFi is potentially going to be no more.
Right, and they announced it themselves that they were stopping the removal or the withdrawals. Thank you, Tam. Of the funds, which is a huge forerunner of what is to come next. Here, we're about to share the article itself is from BlockFi themselves, letting everyone know through Twitter were shocked and dismayed by the news regarding FTX and Alameda, we, like the rest of the world, found out about this through Twitter. And because of the lack of clarity on the status of FTX and Alameda, we're not able to operate business as usual. So now the big question is this the next domino that's falling for a continuation of Bitcoin and the crypto industry's drop overall? And the fact that CZ also mentioned, just tweeted not too long ago that there's going to be a lot more blood coming to the industry. So the thought is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a terrible thing for the industry, but it is a necessary thing for the industry. I feel finally we're getting the .com implosion of the crypto world. There has been too much, too many scams going on. And here's the irony of it all, guys. It's the guy that wanted to run crypto as a banking and trying to corner the entire market in his favor, and excluding everybody else and the common people, in this participation, to the point where they were even drafting the legislation to Congress from the same guy that just melted down the entire market. So it calls into question quite a few things. But no one's crying about that. No one.
Yeah,
No
nobody's shedding a tear for Sam Bankman.
No, but yes, everybody affected by it, because so many people and more news keep coming out of this institution were using FTX to custody their cryptocurrency. It's like, oh my God, the same institution custodying is the one melting down out of this. So now what does it mean for them, the actual company doing this? Those are the ones I've been able to catch. I don't know if any of you caught any others in terms of what is occurring with the entire industry. Do you guys feel this is the bottom formation, or do you feel it's up from here on? Any more news you found?
It's not dark enough for people to say it's time to swim up. I think what we experienced last time we were in a bear market is we broke into 3K range. Yes. People had if you were to tell people, we're going back to 3K, they'd say no freaking way are we going back to 3K. But what was the exact number we hit? It was like 3-4 something.
3,500 more or less. That was the target, but it was very fast. I was there that day when it occurred. It came down, hit that, and just started rallying up into 10,000 almost within a few days.
Yep. I had some loose cash that week, and I was like, nah, we'll probably stay here for a while. I bought like 6 guitars for no reason. It's like, why? Why'd I do that?
Yeah.
So
Jesus. Yes.
Those are expensive guitars, bro. Opportunity cost.
Absolutely. And where Bitcoin stands, it is just below support. So when we break support on these type of, and that's the day we did all the emergency streams. The emergency stream. We saw it break it, and now we're back up, but we're below it. So now it's confirming, if it does not cross above by the end of this week, it is confirmed as a ceiling now. So now we start searching for the floor, where the floor is next. So like Tam well advised on Wednesday is like, guys, if you don't know what is going on, or you don't understand what's going on, do nothing. Do nothing for now. Yeah. Stay safe. Don't rush into something, and do your research. We're here to communicate. You'll see different points of views when we speak. You can get points of view from traditional market experts like Brad and Don, us in the industry itself, with Tamp and the rest of the team. So in the crypto industry aspect, but also we've gotten our goose cooked in trading back in the day. So we've made our mistakes. All we can do is share our mistakes with you, but we've been there. And so
and right now, continue to do nothing. Why? Because there's, like Brad mentioned, there's a lot more that's gonna I think, unfold from this whole FTX situation to the likes where we're still so volatile right now. I think this thing, it's going to take a very long time for it all to unfold. I mentioned, well, late into Q1 of next year, if not moving into Q2 to really shake some things out. That doesn't mean that you do nothing until that time, but the most volatile times, the most unknown times until we really get a chance to not only lift the hood and look under there, but really, really dig around and see what's going on. In the next couple days, I would still do nothing right now. Reason being, there are all kind of allegations coming out now that we need to sift through. At the very beginning, it's just, hey, FTX is insolvent. Binance is going to try to acquire it. Then it looked like Binance lifted the hood and was like, oh, hell no. We're backing out. We're not doing it. We're not even going to go due diligence past chapter 1. This intro is burnt. We're out. That then calls to question, okay, the only reason they probably are saying it that quickly and pulling their hands off the burner that fast is because of legality. That was the assumption, as of 48 hours ago. Well, a lot more stuff is coming to light that looks exactly like that, and how amazingly entangled and disgusting and swampy and incestuous this whole thing really has become. And once that kind of stuff starts happening, then everybody who says we have no exposure to FTX, we have no exposure to FTX starts falling. BlockFi did exactly this. The CEO of BlockFi came out the day FTX did admit that they were insolvent and said, we have nothing to do with BlockFi, or we have nothing to do with FTX US. She said, we have some money in FTX International. We are completely fine. We will not be hurt by this. Did you just see our screen? BlockFi is insolvent. They have paused all withdrawals and they have paused all deposits as well. BlockFi is a weird one, right? Because I feel like BlockFi should have been gone a really, really long time ago.
Well, they did get into trouble. The CEO had to step down and everything.
Yeah, somehow they keep rising to the top. And maybe that's the case for BlockFi again, but it's just another example of somebody who said, no, I have no exposure, and now is in trouble and might go insolvent, despite how many times they've risen to the top before. But my point is that BlockFi will not be the only one. I think we're going to have a very bloody Sunday. I think we're going to have a very bloody weekend. And unless you are Don and know what the hell you're doing with these charts, sit back.
Right.
Yeah.
The quick recap. Yeah. If you had anything on FTX, continue to try to get it off, get it into a wallet where you hold the keys. And I know we had some user questions regarding that, but get it into a wallet and it just hang out for a second. That's really all you need to do. If you can get on BlockFi, if you were burned by BlockFi, get into your transaction log and screenshot your transaction logs, because soon enough that website is going to go down completely and you're going to need it for either tax or legal purposes. So get anything off of BlockFi if you can, make those screenshots and then sit back right now, because you're hurting. If that's you, you're hurting. So don't do anything rash. And even if that doesn't apply to you, but you're like, man, this is crazy. How do I get in on this right now? Do not get in on this right now. And I'm going to let Brandon talk a little bit, but we can go into some of the supposed links and uncovered stories that have developed in the last 24 to 30 hours.
Absolutely. And go into Davis
Davis, yeah.
Davis. Okay. Sorry, Davis. I did. They mess up my name too. So.
Yes, Davis. We'll definitely get to this question.
Yes.
We will not forget about this, but he asked about cold storage and wallets and going more in depth on that. That's exactly why we are here. So we will be getting to this question later in the show. So make sure you're sticking around. We'll love to answer that one for you. I did want to just kind of talk about some more things regarding this. You know, the NFT side of things. So I was trying to, as somebody who isn't as versed as you guys are in the crypto space and what exactly is happening here with manipulation regarding the Bahamas and the NFT side of things. What's up with that? So I've seen that the Bahamas have frozen assets from being able to be withdrawn from FTX. Is that accurate?
Froze it?
FBI, open up!
Jesus Christ.
Damn, Brandon.
He legit
Bro.
just jumped out of his
Yeah,
chair.
I'm like, what the? I thought it was
The
me.
FBI at the Bahamas.
It was that Oculus going off. It's like,
Shit.
wrong thing.
So literally what Bahamas is doing is they're protecting, of course, they're freezing everything. So there is no flight. But as a Bahamian or someone from the Bahamas, they're protecting their people too. So they're allowing people from the Bahamas to bring their value out, as a nation would naturally, you know. So if this happened in another country and the U.S. had the power to do it, they would make sure they're their own citizens. Well, there's a dirty move that's been occurring where Bahama residents, it's being abused, in other words, not by Bahamas, the government. Bahama residents can withdraw it because FTX is registered in Bahamas. Everyone is paying for fake Bahamas KYC and withdrawing what they can.
What's KYC for people?
Know your customer. So it literally is proof that I am a citizen and I'm showing you my driver's license, passport, whatever documentation I have, proving that, yes, I am from the Bahamas and I'm able, I have the right to pull my money out.
It's a government regulatory standard.
Absolutely, which the banking industry follows. Banking falls under. They have to KYC where this money is going and why it's going. That's why they ask you, what are you using this money you're pulling out of the bank account for?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's part of that rule. But here's what's happening. There's one, and Tam, I know you'll be able to deep dive on that one, but there's an individual, I'm sure there's many, but there seems to be an individual that is now charging for that, right? I'm a Bahamian, I have an ID, or I may have lied to FTX and they push me through on the KYC just so I could get the funds out. They're creating NFTs with a Bahamas account. So blocked accounts are buying the NFT and withdrawing their money from the NFT maker account. So they're skirting the KYC through this one KYC account to get their money out. The problem is there's usury involved in this transaction. There's people losing 90% of their value in this panic. They're like, bro, keep 90%, just give me 10%. I don't want to lose it all. So a typical bank run is what's occurring, and people are skirting this and everybody's paying for it. So just stay cool on this one. And we're going to watch it and report as it goes, but there has to be some legal repercussions from here coming back down.
Yeah, and there's apparently reports that there's not just some sketchy shit, but like actual bribery happening to FTX employees to push their supposed legit KYCs that are popping, and they're popping up all over Twitter. So some of the, like I said, some of the stuff that we're talking about hasn't been absolutely confirmed. This is one of them. Some of the stories behind it, that not the fact that they're what Jaime just said about the 10%, but like the briberies and stuff like that. These, for now, it's just kind of rumor, but it would be some pretty fucked up shit if that was actually taking place.
Absolutely.
It's bad because especially Sam Bankman-Fried came out on his Twitter, verified, and talked. He basically said, "I'm sorry," and he said there's going to be 4 stages of what's going to happen coming out. He's like, number 1, I will try to fundraise all next week to fix this all together, but customers are my number 1 priority. He said investors are number 2. He said the employees are number 3, the employees of FTX, and lastly, if there's anything left over, himself. The funny thing is about everything that Jaime just mentioned with the Bahamas being a withdrawal exit right now is that there are lots of allegations going on that FTX employees, who were number 3 on the flow chart, according to Sam, the employees of FTX they have 8-figure accounts, $21+ million in withdrawals going to a specific address to save their own asses. Right now, I'm not saying Sam did this, but these are the employees that are doing this, that are under Sam's control, that he said are number 3 on the flow chart of getting any money out of FTX if there's anything left to be had. Mm-hmm. So again, it is just mass pandemonium right now. You have the head of Alameda. Her name is Caroline. God bless her. And
actually
that. Yeah, we have the.
can we play this footage?
The clip of how
Yeah.
great of a trader she supposedly is, like how
Yes,
she
yeah.
hedged. Okay, this is her, and again, God bless her soul. She might have been married to Harry Potter at one point, but listen, like
Oh,
these
God.
are little kids. These are little kids who think they know everything about the world.
Yes.
They don't know shit.
Right.
And this is how they protect users' money. So go ahead.
You're
'Cause
wizard,
stop losses
Harry.
are dumb.
Yeah.
Absolutely could pull it off without my math degree. Use very little math. Use a lot of like elementary school math. Being comfortable with risk is very important. We tend not to have things like stop losses. I think those aren't necessarily a great risk management tool. Trying to think of a good example of a trade where I've lost a ton of money. Well, I don't know. I probably don't want to go into specifics too much with that.
Guys.
What the fuck?
Why
That
the
is-
fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
For real,
Like-
though.
Guys,
It's like,
these are the
Come
people
on.
managing your money.
yeah, like, are you kidding me? That was the CEO of Alameda? Is
Yep.
this
Yeah.
like,
Yep. I mean, she's
Jesus
she's
Christ.
newly appointed, but currently, yes, that is who it is. You
Hello?
know, and it's just like,
What
listen,
the fuck?
yeah. And again, like stuff like this is coming out right and left. You know, some of the reports have been confirmed, others are unfolding, so we're not 100% sure if they confirm. But the reason we say sit back and it's going to be hard to I think dodge any sort of legality issues here is despite the fact that it's absolutely 100% blatantly illegal to take a depositor's monies and use them as FTX as their own funds to invest or leverage on. That's illegal. And it looks like that's what's happening with FTX.
Yeah.
Now, the clip you just saw, that is the head of the fund that supposedly owes FTX upwards of $10 billion. When
What
it first came out, it was like, maybe it's a couple billion very quickly turned into 9 billion. Now it looks like 10 plus billion that brilliant Harry Potter chick just,
Maybe she,
you know,
maybe she should have implemented a stop loss or two.
yeah, maybe once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Million,
at least
billion,
1%
schmillion.
level,
Fuck.
you know, something, but
You just-
she's
you
in
just-
charge. She's in
So-
charge of the fund that freaking owes FTX 10 billion. That is also, her name's Caroline. Fact. She is Gary Gensler's boss's daughter. That is who that girl is that you just saw talking. So Gary Gensler, right? That's his
Gensler,
name.
yeah.
Gensler. Yeah.
Sweet
His
Caroline.
boss,
blah, blah,
that
blah.
is her daughter. Okay. So, and then you have all these reports of SBF himself talking with Gensler and talking verified with numerous policymakers on Capitol Hill about how to quote unquote regulate crypto for the betterment of everybody. There are lots of things coming out now, and Gensler is going to be looked at, but there are reports out there right now, unconfirmed with rumor mill, that the actual regulation, what it really looked like, and you saw CZ hint towards something like this. It's hinting towards SBF was basically going to regulate the hell out of crypto. He was working to get crypto regulated completely, but FTX was going to be insulated and all that. They were
Sell out shit.
essentially trying to legitimize a monopoly, is what
Right.
Capitol Hill and SBF was doing under the guise of regulation of cryptocurrency for everybody, under the guise of let's not overreach and you know, let the space flourish because we already screwed up our own economy and our own dollar and monetary system. Let's not overreach and mess up something that could maybe fix what we have already broken. Under that
Ooh.
guise of altruism. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Under the guise of
I need to stop you real quick because we have to report this. Looks like FTX has filed for bankruptcy and Sam Bankman-Fried has actually resigned. I want to make sure. I'm gonna find a source here real quick. Obviously, Greg is
looks
a
like
solid
it's right
one.
above.
So here we go. Yes, thank you. I have to copy and paste that one. So, but Brandon just fucking dipped. Brandon just fucking dipped.
He's going to sell,
He
guys.
gone.
Yeah.
He gone.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
I will find it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Tampa.
no, we'll
Yeah.
keep
So,
going.
but this is the issue. So now, how deep do we really go? This is far past cryptocurrency now, right? Now you got Capitol Hill involved. You got Gensler involved. You got people close to Gensler. Not to mention SBS's mother was one of Hillary Clinton's lawyers and still is. Okay,
Yeah,
so
and campaign manager,
you're
I
going
think.
anytime Hillary Clinton has any sort of access to anything, we all know how that goes. You
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
so I mean, this is deep, deep, deep. So I just say sit back, and this is going to take a second.
So here's the press release on FTX filing for Chapter 11. This is just coming in right now. The FTX Trading announced today that West Shire Services, Alameda Research, 130 additional affiliate companies together have commenced voluntary proceedings under Chapter 11 of the United States Bankruptcy Code in the District of Delaware in order to begin an orderly process to review and monetize assets for the benefit of all global stakeholders. This is just breaking right now. Sam Bankman-Fried is said to have also resigned from the company. So now it is an absolute free fall. I'm looking, I actually want to check in on Bitcoin right now to see where we are at with that. It doesn't look like there's too much selling going on as of right now, but I imagine that this is another domino that's going to just create. There it goes. So Bitcoin right now here is
16,000.
It's now plummeted. It is now down another 5% on this news. So here is
Go to 5 minute.
Yeah, here's your 5-minute chart right now. Oops.
Here, let me stretch it out for you.
Click on
All right.
auto for
That
you,
sounded
big
bad.
boy.
Yeah, there you go.
So there's so here's Bitcoin right now as is continued. This is your 5-minute chart as it's continued to fall here on this news.
Roller coaster.
Absolutely insane. And to your point, Tamp, that you had mentioned earlier, that this was far from over. You guys have heard me mention this as well. And this is just, again, another piece of news. I'm surprised that happened this quickly. You know, this is absolutely insane. You are worth $14 billion. 16 billion dollars, whatever. Okay. And then less than a week later, you are worthless.
Yes.
This reminds me of like Anna Sorokin, Martin Shkreli, and Fire Festival all wrapped into one.
Seriously.
Well, crypto is
Seriously.
fast.
And Woodstock 99
Jesus
on top of it.
Yeah.
It came down.
Jesus Christ. Reaction, guys. Reaction.
So
Here's one. Boom, baby. If SBF comes out of this, that sucker's a snitch.
yeah.
Gotta be careful. And will he survive? Damn, we
I
gotta
don't
go
know.
back
He's
to 20
vegan.
kids.
He's got to start lifting weights. That's for sure.
Well,
Well,
he's fat, so
Yeah, they'll use them as currency for sure. In prison.
Use fat people as currency. That's cool.
Yeah. It's for comfort, not for much.
Oh
so
yeah,
much
yeah.
food.
Yeah.
It's he's. Come here, teddy bear.
holy.
Like I said, soap on a
But-
rope.
So
Oh no.
that's the and there's just so much coming out of the. I mean, everyone around him. It's almost like there was this whole dark agenda that the world had not seen. The bankers knew about because he's running it like a bank instead of crypto for what it is, and now it's all coming to light. I guarantee you it's going to be one right after the other. And all these guys that are not doing proof of reserves. What proof of reserves is blockchain is known as the chain of truth. Whatever's in there cannot be modified, removed, deleted, or anything of that sort.
It's
so
there.
when you post it, it's taken as truth, absolutely. And you can look into the blockchain on how much value is in there, how much is locked up, where things are. So CZ and quite a few other exchanges started posting, hey, here's where our funds are. Here's where everything is. If you don't believe me, go to the blockchain, look at the wallet, and you can do proof of reserves. There's a lot of others that are not announcing it or staying quiet about it. So now the big question is, are others like Genesis, BlockFi now, and so many others that are not refusing, but not
haven't done that
acting
yet,
on it?
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It calls to attention. Okay, what's happening over there? Is this the next fall? And of course, we can't forget USDT. Now all of a sudden, USDT under another of the mafia boys in crypto is offering it for all the people affected to be able to retrieve their funds, but still under those other rules. So there's There's a lot of mud
Yeah.
in this water, and it's
Can-
muddy at the moment.
Can we
Go
open that up for a second? I don't think there's probably some new people in the crypto community who don't have the background behind what happened with Bitfinex and USDT.
Mhm.
Would you like to?
I'll let you run with it, and
Yeah,
I'll support you.
yeah.
in it.
So my understanding, it's been a while. I get bombarded with information all the time, but my understanding is that basically the same group of people created USDT, also created Bitfinex, and they were basically, USDT is supposed to have one actual US dollar in an account for every token they have in supply. So for every one USDT, according to their documentation, they were supposed to have one actual US dollar to back that, so it was properly pegged. But it came out that they weren't doing that. They were actually playing with the numbers. Then they had more USDT in circulation than they actually had US dollars to back it, so it wasn't properly pegged, and that shook the confidence. And then in the state of New York, the courts started really looking into them and trying to pin them to the wall. But then conveniently, a whole lot of other smokescreen stuff popped up. All the Epstein stuff popped up, creating smokescreen for what was happening there. I don't know if they're correlated, but that did happen at the same time. So
yes,
I will though say that that USDT was taken to court 3 different times, and all 3 different times came out looking, just clean as a whistle. I personally am not worried at all about USDT having their reserves. They have their reserves backed legally to where they're supposed to be. Why would they go any harder than that? I wouldn't as a business owner. They have so many assets that aren't listed and aren't declared. I wouldn't declare them either.
And that's the key, though. That's the difference, though, of proof of reserves versus what USDT is doing. So, and to your point, I'm not questioning it. It's more of the transparency attached to it. So the fact that they in their website used to say 1-to-1 to the dollar. And then once the New York state attorney started suing them for information clarity, and there were documents that came out where they were short on money, and they were trying, there was this whole situation. They were asking, okay, what is your peg? How are you pegging? And then all of a sudden they started changing, with commercial paper, they started changing to now they're more of a reserve bank, not a 1-to-1 ownership of it. And to this day, they still have not released proof of reserves, which everyone else is going. So,
but every time they have been audited and or taken to jail, they have come out clean every single time. So just to be said, but you are correct. I think we're going to see that trend of proof of reserves. I know Coinbase is going to do it. I'm sure other centralized exchanges are saying that is the way to go. So you're going to start seeing them do it.
I have to. So I want to make sure that we're staying on topic of the FTX saga. Like
well, they're related, by the way.
Well, I know that. But
this
I'm
is
just
precedence,
specifically about SBF, like in this FTX debacle. Obviously, he's the fall guy. Obviously, he is also fucked up. But you can't tell me that there's no one else that knew that this was fucking going on.
Oh, sure, totally.
Oh, of course, that's what needs to be seen.
In the fact that
that's
CZ
my question.
Tweeted it last Sunday, saying there's a lot of back shit going on. I'm getting rid of this token. That's what triggered it all.
Yeah, and I just have to wonder who else is going to come to light. Like, is it going to be? We've seen some of the rumors flying around about Gensler and the relationship there. So I have to wonder if the government is somehow going to get exposed from this, or what other major company gets exposed from this. Like there's no way that CZ is the only guy that did actual due diligence on this on FTX and knew what the fuck was happening.
But that's exactly what we're talking about, Brad. I mean, and yes, we're semi talking about possibilities, but there are facts in there that lie deep into Capitol Hill. The SBF is pictured with all kind of regulators.
Donations.
We have direct access to Hillary Clinton's lawyer and SBF's mother.
Yep.
We have direct access to Gary Gensler through the head of Alameda. Caroline's father is Gensler's boss. Okay, like there are deep roots here that happen to be politically on one side. you know, that is also wants to be the regulator side. So it's not about politics, but it is about access that side of politics is going to have knowledge of, which, Brad, is what you want. Like, that's what we're saying. This is deep rooted. So now SBF, him going to jail is basically him going to Guantanamo. It's going to be who gets to him first. What do you say, boy? Or what do you not say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Who,
Yeah.
you know, your life is essentially over. Will also hurt all those you love, which is all of FTX's employment. All FTX top brass, they all went to school together. They all went to like MIT.
MIT.
Yeah. So we're going to hurt everybody, you know, their families, you're done. And this is how this is going to play out. And you're going to have to look at this like Jeffrey Epstein-esque.
Make
like,
you an offer you
listen,
can't refuse.
Yeah, there's going to be certain things that aren't ever said that everybody's saying, like, why doesn't somebody say the elephant in the room?
And
It's going to happen.
And one of the things that they usually do is wag the dog. So someone's going to die. You watch. Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, man. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Those are factual access and roots in this drama. What comes of that is yet to be seen.
Yeah. And a lot of longtime employees of the SEC began quitting in droves recently too. So the signs are there. There's something going on that is not right.
Yeah. So I actually want to get your guys' thoughts on this too, because I think this is a good point of view. Jake Chervinsky, the lawyer, he's a lawyer, head of policy of Blockchain Association, put out a tweet just a minute ago also. And
under the announcement.
It was under the FTX announcement. And it was that FTX's failure doesn't justify a rush to regulate in the US. FTX is a non-US exchange based in the Bahamas. By design, it didn't have any U.S. customers, so that it couldn't be subject to U.S. jurisdiction. That there's no law Congress can pass to prevent failure of an offshore firm.
And I think his point is, don't rush what's been pushed to Congress at this moment. It's like, bro, look at who wrote it. Look at all the details into it. Like, and this is the clarity he's trying to do is like, hey, don't go pushing this, what's trying to regulate today, because God knows what the mechanisms were underneath it and who's being protected, who's being slaughtered in that regulation.
Exactly. And the regulation right now is currently written with SBF's, intention of regulating all of crypto with a moat around FTX so that FTX could have had a monopoly had it not imploded. So the regulation that's currently on the desk that Jake here is trying to say, dismiss it, is tainted. It's flawed. It's no good. You got to basically scrap it and start over because there's so many loopholes in there that this isn't good for crypto and Bitcoin as a whole.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can we talk about like the big picture here? Because these are centralized problems in a decentralized environment, and all these problems are people creating it's basically creating Web 2 infrastructure in a Web 3 world, and like. I know it is good in the fact that it's bringing people who have no idea how to get into Bitcoin. They're like, okay, I mean, I saw my friends download Robinhood, and a lot of people got in that way, right? But like Robinhood, for example, I don't know if this is still true, but like you don't have your private keys on Robinhood. You basically have an IOU, is my understanding. And that's how most exchanges work, though, right? Like you can't. They let you trade the asset, but you're not really trading wallet to wallet. Like Jaime talks about spot price Bitcoin, right? Like true spot Bitcoin. What he's meaning when he says that is like, I'm actually sending Bitcoin to someone's wallet, and there's a smart contract that says that they give me that amount of USDT according to whatever the charting is currently saying. So what I really want to see come out of all of this is education. I want to see people properly educated as to what exchanges do and actually are, and how they can use them for specific purposes, but not for purposes they don't need to. An exchange is not to be your crypto wallet. An exchange is not to be the place where you store your family's livelihood. That doesn't make any sense. An exchange is a place where you put a small pocket of money that you can afford to lose if things go sideways. And what you're intentionally doing is you're seeing if you can grow that bag. But it's a bag. It's not your whole entire livelihood. So keep this in mind that like people truly should have, we're going to keep talking about this, and we're going to make this really easy. We're as a group talking about how we can get people all the tools that they need to just hold their hand through the whole process, because I know it's intimidating. It really is.
Right. And we've been
but-
through this, guys.
Yeah. If we can get everyone to a place where they actually have their money in a place where they are responsible for their money, no one else has access to it unless they give them physical access to it. That's the idea. And then you can still trade. Like, trading's fun. I get it. It's exciting, and it is a good way to make money. Don Fran trades for a living, right? Brad is very, very involved in trading. So like all of us trade, but you don't want to keep your entire bag on the market. So if you didn't have your entire bag on the markets, you wouldn't be freaking out right now, because you'd be like, yeah, I might lose my bag here. That sucks. I'll do what I can to get it off and claim it, but I'm not gonna, be back to square one.
Yeah.
And what Brandon's saying is so important, because this will for sure, in all kind of drama like this, kind of there's a silver lining. Well, if this didn't happen, then we wouldn't know to move forward in this direction. The direction that cryptocurrency will move into is from centralized exchanges into decentralized exchanges. These
Which
sort
is
of
by design.
falls, absolutely. These sort of falls, FTX just being in line, next in line for a long line of them, is an absolute call that centralized exchange is not the answer. Decentralized exchanges or DEXs will come to light. Their importance, their reason, their growth, their adoption, all that kind of stuff will start to happen, because now you don't have a lot of funds all over the place and IOUs all over the place and people in charge. It is all native assets regulated by a computer, regulated by math, by logic, and by a formula that is unbiased. And that is, if that was in place at FTX, none of this would have happened. The discrepancy between FTX and Alameda would have never been allowed by smart contracts and native assets. So decentralized DEXs are the future. Absolutely. Being able to hold your native assets and swap assets natively is the future of not only cryptocurrency for sure, but also the adoption of Bitcoin to multiple platforms across the entire space.
And that is the brilliance of Bitcoin. So let me bring it down to terms that make sense to someone who's just coming into crypto. So imagine the banks. That's where you go put your money for safekeeping, up to a certain amount, by FDIC insured. That's as much as you can go. But try to all of us go to the bank right now. We won't get it the moment we go to the bank. Why? Because it is in reserves. It is not available to you. Cryptocurrency, when it's in an exchange, is in the exact same situation of your tokens and all this. You go to the exchange and say, hey, give me my money that I built. We don't have the cash flow at the moment. Come back later. The typical situation that occurs, which we're seeing with Alameda and everyone else. God knows what happened in the back end, but this is your reality if you keep it in an exchange, in a bank. What is crypto, Bitcoin specifically, that was created as an alternative to trusting a trusted institution or person, is now you have your gold, your silver, all your value under your mattress, controlled by you in a single location. The beauty of it is that they cannot take your mattress, because if you don't say your words, the mattress can go nowhere. So they can't come and rob your value unless they beat it. You say it. I'm laughing, but I laugh at
Neuralink, enter stage right.
Yeah,
exactly. But that's the difference of having your own wallet and your crypto in it than in an exchange. And what a DEX is literally, which Temp brought up, is almost like peer-to-peer exchange. I have Bitcoin. Temp has Matic, for example, and I'd like to buy some Matic. Temp, I'd like to buy $1,000 worth of Matic. May I send you the equivalent in Bitcoin? Sure. And in the DEX, you can do it more on a public scale, but I can do direct to Temp, where I can go to a DEX where the transaction occurs live. It doesn't stay in an exchange. It goes wallet to wallet. The trade occurs online.
It happens only on decentralized infrastructure. It doesn't happen on centralized infrastructure. And like, to explain what that means is, centralization means that there's some guy with a mouse and keyboard who can say, yeah, you get your money, or what do you mean it's my money? That's what that means. It's literally some dude with a mouse and keyboard doing some middleware where if he wants to change the way it works, he can, and he doesn't have to ask your permission for it. As opposed to decentralized is a permissionless system. I have my private keys, Tamp has her private keys, and I send her, one token, and she sends me another token over the smart contracts agreement. We both shook hands on it, and there's no middleman. And so these are middleman problems we're looking at, and honestly, most business world problems are middleman problems. There's some guy in the middle who's adding rules that you didn't account for, and you get screwed for it sometimes, and that sucks. But this whole Web3 thing, the idea behind Web3, and why we're so bullish on Web3 technologies is it's using this idea Bitcoin really popularized of like, I hold my data and you hold your data, and we can build things in the middle that can read that data if we choose to expose it publicly, and it can present it in ways that are useful. But like Twitter, for example, can't just cancel you. What Twitter could do is say, hey, we don't want to show that on our platform, but some other platform could pop up and could show your data there because you're making your data available. All they're doing is changing, the lookup addresses and whether they're available or not. So this is the direction we want to move in as a community. We want to move in this direction where we can just be responsible for ourselves, right?
Yep. Custody is king. Everything y'all just said. Custody is king. If you do not have your seeds, you don't have custody, you are not king. Somebody else is king and will put the smack down on you if and when they want.
And run away with your money.
So I would like to talk a little bit more about creating wallets and stuff like that.
Yes.
And getting back to the question that was asked earlier.
Sure.
Before we do that, I do want to say, Tamp, that it seems as if the rumors about Gensler are starting to heat up. Tom Emmer, a congressman from Minnesota, tweeted out this morning that interesting that Gary Gensler runs the media while reports to my office allege he was helping SBF and FTX work on legal loopholes to obtain a regulatory monopoly. We are looking into this, and this is in response to a tweet of Gensler joining CNBC this morning to talk about FTX in the crypto markets. So, we entered this thinking that this was rumor, and it seems as if perhaps this is heating up a little bit and may in fact come out to be true. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Because you have an employee or a coworker that is in charge of one thing at their job or two things, whatever, and they all of a sudden want to go elsewhere and help another department that they have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Begs the question why.
Yeah. And I know for a fact, any financial institution, if you're getting into finance, you are specifically asked the question, are you involved in finance elsewhere?
Yeah.
Are your family involved in your mom, your dad,
You
your
sign on it.
Yes. All this. And yet this is happening with relatives working in different departments and in different positions and money flowing into those individuals. So this stinks, guys.
Yeah. This is
bad.
This stinks.
This is really crazy stuff. So getting back to the wallet. So I want to make sure that I'm getting the question right. Yeah. So Divas asked
quick answer.
I have a question for you. On Wednesday, you guys talked about wallets and cold storage. Can you guys go over more in depth on how that works?
Yeah, and Brandon can do this too, but I'll give the quick overview. There are 3 types of wallets in the whole Bitcoin cryptocurrency world. You have a hot wallet, which is stored online in places like a centralized exchange.
Like FTX.
Yes.
Someone else has access to your private keys as well.
Exactly. So the problem with a hot wallet is that if you have a hacker or somebody who is really smart and knows what they're doing, they can use software alone to go into that wallet and remove your funds, your value with or without your permission. That's a hot wallet. You only want to use them just to swap coins quickly and move them from one place to another, if at all. Hot wallet. Don't hold value on a hot wallet ever. Number 2 is a warm wallet. Now, warm wallet's a little bit of a hybrid. It is a software program. It's a software wallet where you can keep your coins, but that software is stored off of the internet. So now for a hacker to tap a warm wallet, they're not just going to have to break into, say, FTX to move funds. They're going to have to break into your personal computer to access your funds without your permission. Much, much harder, but much safer compared to a hot wallet. good examples of that are Exodus.io or Exodus.com. That's the warm wallet I started out with. It's a very good option because it's free.
Yeah.
Number one, it's pretty safe. But if you start collecting funds and value into Exodus, once you reach a point of value inside of that wallet where you personally do not feel comfortable losing that amount of money, then you need to look at investing in a cold storage wallet.
Before you jump on that one, hey, guys, for any of you who are panicking and don't have a cold storage, a warm storage is a good alternative. Meanwhile, you order a cold one.
Storage,
I just want to mention that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And yeah, absolutely. And the best reason to use a warm wallet is to kind of get your feet wet, figure this out in a manner that is pretty safe and free, right? So you can store value in Exodus, but again, everybody's number is going to be different. My number when I started in the crypto game was 10 grand. Once I hit 10 grand in my Exodus wallet, I started personally getting uncomfortable with just straight losing that money. I didn't want to just lose that. It would hurt me. And so I said, hey, look, I need to look at cold storage. Cold storage are ledgers and treasures. They are devices that look like a thumb drive, and they are stored completely offline. So that way your funds, regardless of what happens, if an FTX goes down, if a network is stalled, if it's whatever implodes, your funds are stored on the blockchain, safe and accessible with the cold storage. They are relatively expensive though. You're going to have to look at least $100 to get those. So I wouldn't invest $100 into a ledger to store $300 worth of crypto, right? I mean, it just, there's a cost thing there. And all a cold storage is a two-factor authentication device. So you store your value on the blockchain. And when anybody wants to access or move that value, they must have that cold storage device to tell the software in analog with your hands, yes, do the transaction, I approve, or no, reject the transaction, it is not me. And a non-answer is a reject. So it's just an external analog two-factor authentication that tells you do something or don't do something with my funds. That is why they are so strong, because software alone cannot access.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Brandon, feel free.
Yeah, no, that's basically the TLDR. I mean, we can get super technical, and I think we do have a lot of people asking a lot of these questions. So I think what we'll do as a community is we'll work on building a go-to video, just so that we can make sure that we take care of you. But just make sure you take care of
these nuts. Got it.
If you are ready to buy a cold storage ledger or treasure, that is not the time to start looking for value buy options. You do not want coupons. You do not want to go to eBay. You do not want your friends.
Amazon.
Get a brand new ledger or treasure cold storage wallet directly from the official website. Pay full price for it, because you do not want to get something that has been manipulated by someone who then sells it to you as if it's new. And now you just literally gave a hacker, everything they need to take what you want. So make sure you buy things from official marketplaces.
Yeah,
absolutely, guys. So it's our pleasure to answer your question. Davis,
I think.
Davis. Okay. So my apologies on the pronunciation, but
I butcher names all the time.
Yeah. But yes, it's a valid question, and especially during these times, and knowing that we have not seen the bottom of this dirt barrel that's opening up, this can of worms that's opening up. So we don't know where it's going to end up. And if you have it in Coinbase, we don't know if it's going to be here tomorrow. And even CZ, the founder of Binance, is saying, guys, it's gonna get ugly.
It's gonna get ugly, guys. This is not over by a long shot. And I'm not just talking about the FTX saga in and of itself. That's gonna take a really long time. But the shock waves, what was the one we just said? I don't even remember now. That's going insolvent right now.
BlockFi. Yes.
Yeah. BlockFi is the first one to wave the white flag. There will be other white flags raised because of FTX. Let it shake out, calm down, right now, just stick with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very different from cryptocurrency in the DeFi world that all the drama is happening in right now. So Bitcoin maxis are tooting their horn, understandably, that, hey, I don't have to worry about this at all. So just hang tight on this one.
Absolutely. Rob T just asked us a good question. So with a cold wallet, do people just keep stable coins in it to use when they want to buy on new exchanges? I assume it doesn't hold USD.
No, it doesn't hold USD, but what it's really for is particular protocols that are supported by the cold wallet. So if you want to hold a particular token, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Atom, Polygon Matic, etc., it's really for holding coins. There is a USDT app. You can hold USDT on that, but again, now you're holding a centralized coin on a cold wallet. So
Yes.
that one's a little different, but you can do that, but it's mainly for holding tokens.
And now one key point that Tamp just made, it's a centralized token.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Well, the government reached out to USDT and said, freeze anything under FTX's wallet with USDT. And they went and complied. Imagine these tokens are stored in an exchange, and USDT with that in exchange froze it. So
Right.
not even FTX can move that out of the wallet.
Yeah.
That's
And
what centralized means.
Well,
Go ahead.
real talk for a second though. Your whole bank account works that way. Whether you're working
Right.
with a bank account or a credit union, they have the right to seize your funds.
Right.
Correct. So
And-
the-
and I-
Awkward.
Yeah, and I will say too, like a cold wallet doesn't save you from a token price depreciation.
Yep.
If you hold a token that goes to 0 on your cold wallet, you still have a value of 0. But
Yeah.
the tokens themselves cannot be moved or manipulated without your approval.
and
So
take it
a
from you.
cold wallet does not keep you insulated from price action. It just keeps the tokens associated with a market value safe and unable to move without your approval.
Exactly. So it keeps it in your possession. So if I take the step further on your question, there it is. So then we would still have to deposit cash onto the exchanges to purchase coins.
It's a very
Yes.
good question. Yes, but we're going to
Absolutely.
give you some other options as well. But
Yes.
yes, and that's a huge issue right now. And why we say we're so early in cryptocurrency is we don't even have ways to on and offload dollars directly into the crypto space without going through a centralized exchange right now.
Mhm.
That's like the craziness and the irony of it all is that you have to go centralized to get into decentralized. And Brandon touched
game.
on this early there. So you run into centralized problems in the decentralized space because of these weaknesses in the current game. And we're so early. And this is what we talk about all the time. People are like, I'm too late. No, you
No,
are not too late.
trust
We
me.
are so early.
Up and
Yeah.
And
down.
we're still trying to work these problems out. And I know we keep saying it, but we're going to talk about a decentralized exchange that deals in native tokens, and it's called Thorchain. And it is amazing. And they're one of the ones working on the centralized problem. If Thorchain is all we use, then the FTX drama would have never happened ever.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to get into that.
And I also want to just kind of tease out that we are working on our own. We have a project in which we are working on our own
Yes.
Warm wallet.
warm wallet.
Yep.
That I think that
Must
is going
be.
to be very exciting for not just us, but for other people who'd be interested in it within our community. So I'm super pumped about that.
Mhm.
Just teasing it out there for right now. We're going to get
Mhm.
into a little bit more of that as the weeks roll on and as we continue to develop it ourselves. But that is something that we are actually actively working on as a group, as a team here. So I'm super pumped for that. So make sure you guys are subscribed and stick around because we have so many amazing things coming, and it just so happens that the timing here is absolutely perfect
Yeah.
for something like this. So I'm super pumped for that. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We'll be back here on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern time to talk about, I'm sure, whatever the fuck happens over the weekend, because I'm sure it's going to be
Yeah.
insane. But I also didn't want, I know that Indo Crypto is still watching.
Birthdays.
He's looking for birthdays. So we still do have birthdays. Hey, Leonardo DiCaprio is 47 today.
Come on now.
Wow.
I thought he was
And
older
he's still
than that, to
dating
be honest.
20-year-olds. He's 47, but his girls are all 25 and below.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hey,
That's
Hey,
fine.
we don't hate you,
Consenting
Jake.
adults, man. Consenting adults.
That's right. Vinny from Jersey Shore is 34 years old. Looking at Peaches. Anybody remember Peaches,
No.
the singer?
Oh, the
Oh,
singer.
she's 53. And she was like all the music for the Jackass movies.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was bad. Stanley Tucci, 61.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my
Ooh,
god.
good show.
Yeah.
Insider Man.
Yeah. Every
Insider
show.
Man. Watch it.
Anything that he's in is
Yeah.
awesome.
Good. It's
Amazing.
brand new
actor.
on Netflix. Insider Man. Netflix.
Yeah. Anything that he's in is awesome. And then finally we have Nina Mercedes, who's 43. She is best known for Women Seeking Women, 126.
Oh my God.
So I Married a Porn Star. I'm Into Anal. Diary of an Orgy. Rub-a-dub-dub. 2 lesbians in a tub. That's gonna do it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Stay
Join us
calm,
on Discord.
guys. Huddle on.